Hey everybody, this is Steve G here for Chef Knives to Go, and what we have this time for a quick look video is the Tsubaki Aogami or Blue number 2 Tsuchime Bunka 170mm knife. So this knife has an all reactive construction. It's a very traditional build. There's a great read on the product page about the blacksmith and how he hand forges the core steel and the cladding. It's a really great read, so get some insight into the blacksmith. This is an awesome knife, old school methods. It is composed of 3 layers. The inside or hardcore center layer is Aogami or Blue Paper number 2, reactive high carbon steel. It's a great kitchen knife steel, takes a great edge, has decent edge retention. It will pretty much get as sharp as you can get it, depending on your skill level. The cladding in either side is soft iron reactive cladding over the top of that. It also has a kind of a hammered pattern finish on it. Tsuchime is the hammered name. And it's also got what's known as a blacksmith or Kudauchi protective finish, KU finish on it as well. So this is a stiff kind of heavy knife with a lot of backbone to it, but a really nice convex hamaguri grind. And so it's got good performance at the edge and decent food release with pretty good performance through product. So it's a really nice combination of that. The weight on this one, these are going to vary a little bit from knife to knife, but this particular one is 191 grams or 6.8 ounces. The heat treats are, doesn't say, but there's typically Aogami number 2s around 62, maybe 63 Rockwell. Handle is an octagonal, ambidextrous oak, urushi or burnt handle. It's got a nice feel to it, nice fit and finish. The edge length's about 175 millimeters on this one, or almost 7 inches from tip to the back of the heel. And the overall length of this handle is about 323 millimeters, or 12.7 inches. Spine thickness, fairly thick coming out of the handle. I got about 3.5 millimeters above the back of the blade. And about halfway down, I got about 2.5 millimeters, approximately. And then we get that turn with that reverse sword tip, kind of Tanto style tip, backwards tip. And it maintains some of that thickness, but then as you see, it has a really nice taper as it goes down towards a very thin tip. Very nicely done. And then it's also ground thin right at the edge where it counts. So it's got a fair amount of backbone to it, a lot of stiffness, decent heft to it, but really gets thinned out. That nice long tip is great for detailed work. It's a really nice knife for like pull cutting and tip draws, things like that, getting into tight spaces. The height on this one, these are pretty generous, pretty tall. This one's 51.7, so it's got a lot of height to it. The neck is fairly narrow, and there's a nice kind of short rounded spot there in the choil for your finger, so there's a great spot there for a pinch grip. Balance point on this with the handle, oak's not the lightest in the world wood-wise, so there's your balance point right about there. In terms of, for me, from a pinch grip, my pinch is slightly in front of that, so this is just a touch handle heavy for a pinch grip for me personally, but that's just how I hold the knife. Let's get a beauty shot of this guy here. It's a really cool looking blade. The finish is beautiful on it. The grind is impeccable, old school type grind. If you look at the right side of the blade as you're holding it, it's got an embossed, that might be, well, it may not be a chrysanthemum, but there's your embossed symbol for them. Chrysanthemum is Kikuichi. And here's the left side of the blade. It's got some embossed kanji in it as well. And you can see everyone's going to be unique, but it's got a really cool textured, what they call tsuchime or textured finish to it. And then it goes down to a really smooth grind. This is your cladding. Here's your core steel. That's just an old school finish on it. Really nicely done. So fit and finish is very, very good on this. They've done a nice job on the choil, cleaning that up on both sides, beveling it. They've taken a little bit of relief on the spine. Got clean grinds to it. It's just a really, really nicely finished knife. Sharpness, the front 2/3 of the blade was pretty sharp, so I'm going to give this 5, maybe 6 out of 10 on my sharpness scale. The back third wasn't all that sharp, so you might want to check yours and just see if it's got a nice edge out of the box. You can put a better edge on the box, at least than this one came with, and get this thing really stinking sharp. Let's go ahead and look at the cutting board profile. Alright, as you might expect, this is going to have a low tip compared to the center line. That's what a Bunka does. So it's not going to be a big rocker, but you've got a little bit of belly there. If we rotate this in, it's got a nice smooth roll into a pretty flat back half of the blade, maybe 40% of the blade. Just rolls right into that. And then a little bit of belly towards the tip. So that means it's wanting to dig it in about right there. So we're not talking about a big rocker here. So I'm digging the tip in about right there. So you could rock over small stuff, you know, maybe 1/2 inch or less in diameter or size. No problem. Tip draws are going to be awesome. Chopping towards the back half, even the tip here. Push-pull cuts, glide cuts. So I'd say pretty versatile outside of if you like to rock. No. But this is a unique blade. Great story behind it. And the blacksmith, small shop, awesome craftsmanship. It's a great knife. So this is the Tsubaki Blue 2 Tsuchime Bunka 170mm knife from Chef Knives to Go.